purpose of this video is to explore the four cities of Maastricht, Rotterdam, Amsterdam and Almere a bit further than we did at the start of this year on our trip. I'm going to be looking at the infrastructure of these cities, planning policy, some examples of good design and lessons learnt that we can provide solutions now for development and land use in the UK. Our first stop on the trip was Maastricht. Maastricht was an absolutely beautiful city, the population of which was about 600,000 Dutch people living in the region, 40,000 of which are students. And there are 270,000 jobs in the Maastricht region. It's also an international university city. One of the most exciting plans in Maastricht is the A2 tunnel. It's a plan with multiple objectives for the improvement of the traffic flow on the A2 and the accessibility of Maastricht, as well as one that promotes the quality of life and road safety. This plan resolves bottlenecks within the city and creates opportunities for urban development. It's a highly innovative plan and has some very unique characteristics, including the green carpet, which is a recreational strip of more than 1,000 trees winding through the city from north to south. And another is the Park Laan, a long, intimate, tree-lined avenue above the dual-layered tunnel, the connecting element between the adjacent city districts. On our journey from Maastricht to Amsterdam, we stopped off in Rotterdam. Rotterdam is the world's largest seaport and handles more tonnage than any other harbour. Some 70% of all imports that go into the Netherlands come through Rotterdam. There's 400 million tonnes of goods per annum pass through this port. In our talk with Barbara, she mentioned Rotterdam's desire for one city and how they're striving to attract more families and higher income groups. She also mentioned reorganising the central area to encourage cycling and pedestrians. This is very similar to most other Dutch cities that have widespread and inexpensive public transportation systems, and the high degree of urbanisation has also led many Dutch cities to build comprehensive bicycle pathways that allow people to bike instead of using cars or other vehicles. The big problem in the Netherlands is rising sea levels and the effects of flooding. Over half of the country's territory is protected from flooding by an extensive system of dams. In order to pay for current and future projects, the government established a special infrastructure fund. The fund is designed to provide supplemental money for infrastructure works without having too great an impact on the national budget. The fund is made up of proceeds from the sale of natural gas and any surplus tax funds. Whilst walking through central Rotterdam, Remy took us to a very edgy area shown in the picture above. This area was an excellent example of placemaking within a city, and I believe it is something we could do more of in the UK. Moving on to Amsterdam. Having been before, I knew it was a beautiful city. However, this time I saw far more of the city as a whole and was shocked at the variety of buildings. When Remy was walking us around the divided islands of Eiberg, the housing was all similar, but this was encouraging front-facing gardens and a sociable, happy community, which I thought was lovely. Then there was the Build Your Own Homes initiative and the floating houses, which I saw as two great initiatives and made for some incredible designs. The student accommodation was also intriguing, and then we moved on to buildings in the centre that had been in situ for hundreds of years, so all in all, a ridiculous variety. Another interesting factor from Amsterdam was the introduction of a high-speed rail link between Amsterdam and Brussels, which will only increase the city's popularity. The Netherlands has an excellent infrastructure of ports, airports and roadways. It also has a highly developed telecommunications system. Since the Netherlands is one of the main points of entry for goods imported into Europe, it's very important for the nation to maintain its transport system in order to move products into the interior of the continent. I believe the Dutch to be innovative and very forward-thinking people. They have plans for expanding rail networks, highways, improvements to regional roadways, and are combating the rising sea level issues. I believe that if the UK were to take anything from the Dutch, it should be the encouragement of cycling and pedestrians in the urban areas. The idea for the A2 motorway in Maastricht is also genius, and more ideas like this need to be introduced to the British in terms of placemaking and getting the optimum use out of our land.